You could literally change your entire aura with something as simple as a fragrance. But is it really that simple? I personally don't believe so. Designer fragrances, for the most part, are usually easy, safe, mass appealing. And that's really one of the biggest factors, I'm not gonna say the only, that separates them from niche fragrances. Although there are a couple of niche brands that use mass appealers just to an extreme high quality. These could be arguably said to be some niche quality stuff, but also slightly above mass appealers, enough to make it stand out. And the way that these stand out is making you smell like you've got money. If I were trying to exude class with just designer fragrances only, these are the 10 that I would go for. So let me turn this down a little bit and go ahead and get started with one that was released, I believe, in 2023, Ralph's Club Elixir. It's rich, it's earthy, it's a little bit spiced with some incense, oriental at times as well. A beautiful scent that does smell extremely expensive. Fortunately enough, you can find this on discounters like many of these fragrances. Check the links down in the description as always to find some of the lowest prices. But this is a long-lasting, very specific scent profile. This, I could argue and say that is borderline niche. Obviously, this is a designer brand. That's also another eliminating factor, if you will. So slightly fresh at the top, a lot of aromatics, fruity, earthy orris. It's kind of buttery a little bit, spiced and incense. Nothing fresh about this fragrance except for maybe the first 2 minutes at the top. And aside from that, it dries down into something very masculine, very class-worthy for sure. With these style of fragrances, I would personally limit the occasions to like hanging out with the bros, whenever you're trying to smell like you've got money. Plain and simple. You could still rock this to the office, dates, special events, etc. So Ralph's Club Elixir is a great one in terms of longevity as well, because it sticks on clothing for the entire day. Make sure to spray your fragrances on clothing and on skin unless you can't spray it on skin. Aside from the facts, this is a great one to go with, the most rich smelling of them all from Ralph Lauren. Next one is going to be from Givenchy, and this is Society Extreme. Also polarizing, not going to be for everybody, but it's got like this iris, buttery iris, seems to be a little bit warm and ambery and coffee. Rich in scent profile and very bold and masculine, also exuding class. The scent profile of this does tread in that, you know, borderline niche territory style of things, and the performance for this is anywhere from like 8 to 9 hours. It's not beastly by any means, and it is one that behaves relatively, I wouldn't say close encounter because the first 2 hours it projects, but it's a closer encounter, get close to me style of scent. It's warm, it's alluring, it's mysterious, and this is something that I would reserve more so for the winter and the fall time like I would with the Elixir. However, this more so for dates, special occasions, etc., where you just want to be sophisticated. The way that these fragrances project does play a role also, depending on the seasons, into your overall aura, but these will absolutely get you that vibe during the cooler weather. Now, for transitioning into like warmer weather, even during the cooler weather, if you want to exude like a little bit of old school money, sophisticated and masculine at the same time, it's Terre Eau Intense Vetiver. The relationship I have with this fragrance is of every hotel, luxury hotel in the East, France, Italy, etc. This is what they would smell like, and so I guess it kind of just stuck with me. It smells clean, almost like fresh construction. It's weird, but not in like the still constructing way, like brand new hotel vibes with a little bit of citrus in the air. Those woods, you know, the natural cedar, the vetiver, etc. Obviously, this is vetiver, but nevertheless, I think I got my point across. It smells expensive. It also performs, and of all of the Terre d'Hermès, I find this to be the best performing one. I've compared it with the Parfum. The original is great, but this is overall the highest, I would say, you know, level in terms of opulence. Occasions, it's pretty versatile. Dress it up, dress it down. I mean, I personally wouldn't dress it down too much, but yeah, it works. And the season's all year round. It's a great one for an all year banger, which is a similar case with the original Chanel Allure Homme. It's got like a bunch of fruits, citruses. There's also some peppers and woods. It's a great fragrance for daily signature scent. Smells like old school money that's not gonna be dated, I think, ever. And it's ironic because that's the vibe that they always have. Like, you know, they've got money. They're not like showing off per se, but you can tell that they have their shit together. Allure Homme is a great fragrance that's a little bit more mature than most 20-year-olds would like stronger with use, etc. If that's the vibe you're looking for the most part, you're not gonna find it with these at all, actually, because you know, once you're in that sweet realm, you're starting to ask for attention, and there's nothing wrong with that. Ask for compliments, etc. But it starts to take you away from the overall vibe of that rich, sophisticated, and basically, yeah, reserved, a little bit more reserved, if you will. So occasions for this is going to be everywhere, and then also the seasons, you can rock it in every single season. Next one is gonna also be from Givenchy, and this is called the EDT Intense. Despite the fact that it's an eau de toilette, it does perform. It performs greatly. This smells, it has that similar style of Dior Homme Intense Iris, except it's a lot more masculine. Much more woody, much more aromatic. It's got cypress and cardamom. These two notes really give it an intensive woodsy nature along with an oriental spice, and it lingers on for a long time. There's tonka bean and cedarwood in the base also do carry this fragrance on for a long time. Smells good. It smells like something you should keep for like the fall and the winter time, and despite the fact that it's an eau de toilette, I've actually gotten all day performance out of this one. Occasions, I would say special events and dates, and the seasons strictly for those two, just because of the fact that it wears relatively thick. If you try and wear it another season, you probably won't enjoy it, but it does exude class. Next one, love it or leave it, it's called the Gucci Guilty Elixir. This is one that initially I left it. I really didn't enjoy it, but it's because I tried to wear it during, I would say it was what, springtime. This will do the absolute best during the fall and the winter time. This little freaking tube, it is expensive. It's expensive, but it's absolutely nuclear stuff. What this reminds me of is going to be like fabric softener that's spiced with a lot of orange flower. And now that orange flower is slowly transitioning in, even myself, hold up, myself, why sell myself orange flower? But yeah, that's really the fragrance that started getting me back into the orange flower thing, along with Allure. And now I'm starting to appreciate this one a little bit more so because of those fragrances. And understanding that seasons play the biggest role in enjoyment factors, at least for me and for a lot of people out there, whether you have realized it or not. Despite the fact that this has quite a few different notes than some of those other fragrances, it will remind you of fragrances like Amouage Reflection, Niche DNA, definitely has more polarizing nuances than you'll find with YSL Myself. That's way more designer and mall scent. This one has a lot of pimento seeds, nutmeg, it's pretty much spiced, and then there's an earthy orris combination of osmanthus, recreating almost like this suede-like vibe. As it starts to dry down, ambroxan, vanilla, long story short, it smells like a rooty, earthy style of fabric softener, and it does tread into niche category, and it also lasts a hell of a long time. However, for me, this is like winter, almost winter only, fall time maybe, and even then, be careful with the trigger because it can become, I don't want to call it cloying because it's not like sweet, but it can become just off-putting if you put too much. But done at the right amount of sprays, this does smell pretty damn expensive. In the air, it's absolutely magical. The extra peppers, the extra thickness, that ambroxan makes this one project and get compliments like crazy. I will be visiting this one a lot more so this winter and fall time, and I think it'll be one of the best ones. But yes, it does absolutely smell like opulence, very similar to the way that Reflection Man does as well. Next one is from Boss. It's called Bottled Elixir. Very oriental, very masculine, and it just exudes class and sophistication. Coming from a designer, this is borderline niche. A lot of people might not be enjoying this one because it's very heavy in that frankincense, the resins, incensey. It smells like this apple cinnamon meets oriental resins and that licorice that you'll find in like Sauvage Elixir. Much more complex than Elixir, Sauvage Elixir I should say, and my favorite. It absolutely smells like money, but be careful with the trigger. Very similar story, fall and winter time only. You are not gonna get this off clothing for like days, man. Next one is easier than a lot of these. It's called Armani Code Eau de Parfum. Although it's not the newest scent profile, it still does exude sophistication to a certain degree. This smells like an office goer that's, you know, relatively in higher in position, like wearing a long coat, you know, button down, etc. It smells like class, sophistication. It kind of smells a lot more mature while still having some sweetness, the whole sweet leather and mandarin orange. Simple as that. It's not the most complex thing in the world. Definitely in terms of complexity, it does take a backseat, but you could smell rich while going to the office while having a signature daily scent. This is a great one for exactly that. Very specifically going to be for the early spring, winter, and the fall time. That's about it. I wouldn't personally try and rock this one, you know, during the summertime. It won't do its thing. The freshest of all of these so far is going to be Allure Sport, and this is the cologne. I think one of the most underrated fragrances that actually stands toe-to-toe or toe-to-toe next to Dior Homme Sport. Except this is a little bit more crisp, even more, I would say, attention-grabbing, if you will. A lot of citruses, some peppers, even fir resin, but it comes off overall like this summertime, you know, very expensive yacht-style fragrance, basically, that you could signature scent as well. So if you like those crisp, invigorating, almost refreshing style of scents for the summertime, this is an excellent one that also gives me a solid like 6 to 7 hours. It's no chump in performance, and it performs better for me than Dior Homme Cologne. Although that's one that's also worthy of being on this list, this I feel like overall I would reach for a little bit more so, just because of the fact that it has a bit more of a bite coming from, you know, enhanced spices. Whereas Dior Homme Cologne still smells expensive, it's a lot more watery, if you will. Less nuanced in the spices, in the woods. I mean, there's just a lot more notes and a lot more happening with this one while still staying in that freshy realm. Simple as that. Occasions, you could literally wear it everywhere during the summertime, but you are gonna smell like you've got money, basically. Next one is Dior Homme Sport, but not the cologne. It's going to just be the original. And the new formulation compared to the ones in, I believe it was 2017, it doesn't really matter what that one was anymore because this is what we have on hand. This smells like a mashup of the reformulated in 2017, which was just all citruses, blood orange. It was very fresh, clean, very nice fragrance, actually. Unfortunately, they removed a lot of those citruses and mashed it with what the current Dior Homme 2020 is. So a bit more resins like elemi. It still has those citruses. It's absolutely still there. Adding that woody, dry ISO-E super note. The ISO-E super note is something like ambroxan in terms of the family or category of notes, an enhancer, if you will, except what it gives you is more of this dry woods, basically. So that's what you get with this one. A bit of citruses, a lot of these resins that are lighter in nature, like elemi, having a lime style top or a cork to it. So the citruses that you're gonna smell maybe like blood orange, grapefruit, a little bit of lime. Underneath all of that, you might get something that's resinous and woody, coming from the iso and that elemi or the resins that they're using in this fragrance, olibanum. Starting off citrus fresh with hints of lime coming from this resinous elemi, and it's all riding on what seems like another astringent note of maybe vetiver and some of those resins as well. So you might get the accord of grapefruit. It still smells really nice. It smells much more expensive, and it lingers on clothing much more than the pre-reformulated 2017 version. So in that sense, they are giving you more performance, and this one still does exude class. You can wear this to the office, you can wear it with bros, you can wear it going on dates. If it's something that you're still trying to be a little bit more reserved and fresh and not really too polarizing or testy, it would work more so for the daytime seasons. All year round, high summer heat might not be the best, but it'll still work. Last but not least is gonna be Acqua Di Gio Parfum. This is a recreation of the Profumo, which had incense, which had patchouli, a little bit aquatic and woody, a lot bit aquatic and woody actually. And this, in comparison to the old batches, has a lot less of this incense vibe. Regulations, etc., have reformulated this fragrance, unfortunately, but it still smells really good. It still has that patchouli, it just tones down some of the smoky nature to it, making it more wearable. It lasts also 8 to 9 hours, and I think that this is hands down the best Acqua Di Gio you can get today. Also has a very similar style of, you know, wear it every day to the office, dress it up and dress it down, and even wear it to dates. One of the best ones that you can grab if that's your vibe, if you're into something that's easy, clean, you can wear it everywhere, but you'll still smell like money and even get compliments. Acqua Di Gio. All these are great fragrances that would exude class and make you smell like you have money, while still, I mean, you still technically have to have some money while buying these fragrances because they're pretty expensive. But if you check the links down in the description, they're a lot cheaper. Don't ever buy at retail. My name is Neeb. Thank you for tuning back into AROMATIX. Hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.